edges ever honed. Gillette's cavalcade of sports is on the air. From Ebbets Field in Brooklyn, Gillette presents the exclusive play-by-play report of the fourth game of the 1949 World Series between the New York Yankees and Brooklyn Dodgers. Good afternoon, baseball fans everywhere. This is Mel Allen with Red Barber.
The match takes low outside for ball two. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs, fourth inning. New York 5, Brooklyn 1. Bobby Brown on deck. Outfield is swung around toward left. Infield shaded well around toward third. Joe with that classic stance of his, bat cocked up off his right shoulder. On the next pitch, swings and sends a long drive. It stays fair. It'll go all the way. It is going. It is going. It is gone.
The Phillies, 1950 champions of the National League, with owner Carpenter and manager Sawyer, go into training at Clearwater, Florida. Carpenter looks for a repeat performance this year. Such hopefuls as Tom Casagrande will be on call. The 20-year-old undergraduate received a $40,000 bonus when he signed up. Robin Roberts, star pitcher, goes into action with teammate Jim Constanti, named most valuable National League player last year. Bubba Church, another top-notcher on limbers. The Whiz Kids also display their line of batting talent. Jones swings on one and is followed by Eddie Wakus, who batted a neat .284, and catcher Andy Simonek, who punched out 24 homers. The Yankees, who took 4 straight from the Phillies to win the World Series, get into their stride at Phoenix under peppery Casey Stengel, the boss wrangler trying on a new crown. And here is Phil Rizzuto and Yogi Berra getting set for another successful season. Casey looks over the new crop of rookies. Most of these will be in the lineup this season. As usual, the Yankees figure to be unbeatable, but they may need some new blood on the team. Seems as how the top man of them all, Joe DiMaggio, has hinted this may be his last season. Say it ain't so, Joe. The Brooklyn Dodgers are back on the job at their training camp at Vero Beach, Florida. Manager Charlie Dressen and the famous wives cheering section give them a big send-off as the pitching staff grooves them in. Rex Barney limbers up, along with Preacher Rowe, who won 19 and lost 11 last year, as did Don Newcomb. Nice pitching in any man's league. Looking for more worlds to conquer is Ralph Branca. And on the catching side is Roy Campanella, who stacked up 31 home runs last season. Carl Furillo has averaged .305 and slams out a few to his teammates. Robinson to Pee Wee Reese. Let's go! Briggs Stadium, Detroit, for the 18th All-Star Game between Eddie Sawyer's National Leaguers and Casey Stengel's American League favorites in the Mid-Season Classic. Leading hitters Musial of the Cards and Fain of the A's, Dom DiMaggio of the Red Sox, and Jackie Robinson of the Dodgers. Starting pitchers Ned Garver of the Browns and Robin Roberts of the Phils. Pre-game ceremony is memorial for Harry Heilman, former Tiger star who died on eve of game. Heilman's one-time teammate Ty Cobb tosses out the first ball, and 1951's Midsummer Thriller unfolds for 52,000 fans. With Garver pitching to Gil Hodges and Musial off to steal second, Berra's peg gets away from Fox at second base. In from third comes Ashburn, and the underdog senior circuit jumps into an early lead. In the bottom half of the second, Ferris Fain answers back for the junior loop with a smashing drive off the Nats' Mr. Roberts that bounces away from right fielder Del Ennis for extra bases. The Yanks' Yogi Berra, who opened matters with a single, races all the way around from first, beating the throw-in to tie up the game. Ed Lopat of the Yanks runs into Stan the Man and trouble in the fourth. Musial's blast is a souvenir for a fan, a home run into the right field stands. The long ball was supposed to be the American League stock in trade, but the Nats steal the thunder in today's dream game. Lopat is tagged by Bob Elliott of the Braves for another homer in the fourth. The left field stands have a scramble this time. Coming home ahead of Elliott is Gil Hodges of the league-leading Dodgers. And when Elliott completes his tour of the base paths, the National League All-Stars are out front 4-1. The out-homered American Leaguers never do catch up and drop their second straight All-Star game 8-3. Out of the subway into the Polo Grounds pour fans by the thousands for the sudden death game in the playoff between the faltering Dodgers and the stretch-running Giants. New York is baseball wild over a climactic wind-up to a pulse-tingling National League pennant. Leo DeRocher's miracle team spotted the Dodgers a 13-game advantage in mid-August and overtook them at the finish line. Lorraine Day, Mrs. DeRocher, has her fingers crossed because this is it. In the first inning, the Giants' 23-game winner, Sal Magley, walks 2 men, and with 1 out, pitches to Jackie Robinson. It's a single for the Dodgers slugging second baseman, and it brings Pee Wee Reese in with the first run of the game. 1-0, Brooklyn, until the bottom of the 7th, when Irvin doubled off Newcomb to get things going for the New Yorkers. Then on Whitey Lockman's sacrifice bunt, Walker's throw to Cox is too late to nip the sliding Irvin. Close, but he's safe. Bobby Thompson, one of the heroes of the first game of the playoff, flies deep to center. Plenty of time for Irvin to tag up and come in to make it a tied-up ball game. In the 8th, the Dodgers got to Magley for 3 runs, and Dodger fans saw victory at long last. But Big Don Newcomb faltered in the 9th. Ralph Branca, who lost the opener, comes on the scene with 1 giant run across and 2 on base. The fans sense the drama of the situation and the irony, for Branca has to pitch to Bobby Thompson, who homered off him only 2 days ago. Branca's first pitch to Thompson is a strike, and here is pitch number 2. With 1 blast of his bat, Bobby Thompson, the Flying Scot, brings the pennant race to a swift, stunning close. A 3-run homer wins it 5-4, and the Giants are in. The Polo Grounds burst, it seems, as Thompson trots around, and Eddie Stanky hugs Leo DeRocher in unrestrained joy. Lippy's Cinderella team writes baseball history for a magnificent stretch battle, and Bobby Thompson, whose home run wrapped it up, is the center of jubilant teammates and Giant fans. 39 out of their last 47 games is some record. And then coming from behind in this one, oh, brother, what a pennant victory. Giant fans will be talking about Bobby Thompson and today's game for years to come. The house that Ruth built houses 65,000 fans for the World Series opener between Casey Stengel's Bronx Bombers and Lippy's Miracle Men. Pitcher southpaw Dave Kozlov for the Giants and series veteran Allie Reynolds for the favored Yankees. The weather is threatening, and so are the Giants. First inning, 2 out, 1 on. Reynolds fires one in to Monty Irvin. It's a hit. Irvin singles to right field, sending Hank Thompson around second on his way to third. Those red-hot Giant bats are booming. Lockman steps in. Boom! The Giant first baseman hits a ground rules double to left, scoring Hank Thompson from third. Reynolds, winner of 3 series games, is pitching to Bobby Thompson when Irvin breaks for the plate. The second steal in World Series history. The Giants lead 2-0. In the Yank second, Gil McDougall brings hope to Yankee rooters with a double to left. So the Bronx Bombers, winners of 13 World Series, answer back in inning number 2 as McDougall goes into second, standing up. Kozlov faces the next batter, Jerry Coleman, Yankee second baseman, and Jerry laces into one, a single to right field, sending McDougall to third. And when Hank Thompson bobbles the ball momentarily, McDougall comes in to score. The Yanks subsequently loaded the bases, but Kozlov bore down, and it was 2-1, Giants going into the 6th, 2 out. Westrom at second. Yogi Berra tries to pick Westrom off, but his peg is high, and Westrom gets back safely. Eddie Stanky, meanwhile, has been issued a free pass to first. Reynolds' 6th walk up to now, and trouble is brewing for the American League champs. Trouble's name is Alvin Dark. The Giant shortstop Clouded Reynolds' pitch into the left field seats the one and only home run of the opening game of the 48th World Series. Westrom scores. Here comes Stanky, and Alvin Dark's homer proves to be the clincher. The Giants have done it again. Yesterday, the Dodgers. Today, the Yanks. What next? The series? Second game of the 51 World Series, and a great day for Yankee fans at Yankee Stadium. Behind Lopat's five-hitter, the Yanks won it 3-1, and the scene shifts to the Polo Grounds with the Yanks and Giants all even, 1 game apiece. In the second inning, with Bobby Thompson on second with a double, Giant rookie Willie Mays ends his batting slump with a bang, and those swaggering, swashbuckling Giants are off on another spree. Thompson comes in to score the first run of the game, and Coogan's bluff resounds to Giant cheers. 1-0 till the 5th, which features Eddie Stanky's 5-run field goal. Eddie breaks for second on a pitch out to Dark. As Phil Rizzuto tags him, Stanky kicks the ball out of Scooter's mitt and winds up on third base. Just like that. And more misery for the Yanks coming up. Stanky is scored. Dark on third when Monty Irvin lines a grounder to Brown. There goes, and Dark slides under the toss to Berra. He's out. He's safe. Yogi dropped the ball. 2 runs in. Still 2 on base. And here is Carroll Lockman, known in the trade as Whitey. It's a home run for Whitey Lockman, and the Yankee cup of grief overflows as 3 more Giant runs flow over the plate. Faced with a 6-0 deficit, the Bronx Bombers never do overtake Leo DeRocher's rampaging National Leaguers. Irvin scores. Jubilant Giant fans root Lockman home as their miracle team sets the pace in the series. Now the 4th game, delayed a day by rain. The Giants get away with a 1-0 lead in the first inning. In the second, Bobby Brown faces Giant ace Sal Magley with 2 mates on board. Connects for a long fly ball to center. Willie Mays is under it. He's got it. Whoops! Down he goes, and Gene Woodling gets the green light to take third base. He's 90 feet closer to home, and Joe Collins gets him there with a sharp single to right. Woodling comes in to score, making it a 1-1 ball game. Yankee fans are happy, and the stage is set for the Yankee Clipper. Hitless until today's game, Joe DiMaggio, the veteran of 10 World Series, stands in against Magley in the 5th. And he did it. Joltin' Joe jolts a home run, and Yogi Berra's bear dance on the base paths reflects the sentiments of Joe D's countless fans. They knew he'd do it. Yogi scores, and the stands give DiMaggio a roaring ovation for his blast that sent the Yanks out front 4-1 and helped them square the series 2 games apiece. Yes, sir. Joe DiMaggio, the man of the hour. The 5th game of the series at the Polo Grounds sees that old Yankee power really explode. The irrepressible Giants led 1-0 till the 3rd, and then the Yanks lowered the boom. Gil McDougall looks at Jensen's first pitch. Bases loaded. What a spot for a rookie. Here it comes. And there it goes. A grand slam home run for Gil McDougall. Yogi Berra scores as the 3rd grand slam in series history. First for a rookie goes into the record book. The big blow of the 51 Classic scores Joe DiMaggio and Johnny Mize. And here comes the young infielder whose mighty wallop blasted the 5th game wide open. The Bombers won it 13-1, and rookie Gil McDougall showed them the way. Back to Yankee Stadium for the finale, and the story is unchanged. Johnny Mize again gets a walk, just like yesterday's big inning. Kozlo and the Giants are again faced with loaded bases. DiMaggio on second, at third Yogi Berra. Same script, different hero. Hank Bauer is the Yankee fuse that ignites this one. Bauer belts a long drive to left. Monty Irvin can't get it, and the ball bounces off the fence. 1 run in, DiMaggio scores, and Mize is right behind him. And Bauer goes into third standing. It's 4-1 Yanks, but it almost wasn't enough. Leo DeRocher's miracle Giants kept slugging back the way they did to win the pennant. In the 9th, they got to relief pitcher Sane, and Casey Stengel brings in lefty Bob Kazawa. Bases loaded, 2 long fly balls score 2 runs, 4-3 the score, 2 out, men on second. Pinch hitter Ebers nearly ties it up. But Hank Bauer races in for a tumbling catch to end the game and the series. Bauer's triple won it, his catch saved it, and the Yankees have done it again. Won their third World Series in a row, their 14th out of 18 starts. The Giants gave it a game try, but the Yankees are still the champs. A group of American athletes walk off a plane in Japan into a triumphant welcome that sets a new high in Oriental enthusiasm. The athletes are Major League Baseball players on tour, and baseball is Japan's favorite sport too, so the red carpet is out for Joe DiMaggio and his fellow big league stars. The plane was late and it was dark when their motorcade reached downtown Tokyo, but that didn't deter the waiting fans on the Ginza, Tokyo's Broadway. The Yankee Clipper, Lefty O'Doul and company received an ovation they'll never forget from 1 million screaming admirers. On an exhibition tour that will also take them to Korea, Yank ambassadors of baseball are a hit. Yankee Stadium won't be the same picture without that glove and the man behind the glove. Joe DiMaggio announces his retirement after 13 seasons with the Yanks. His bosses, Topping and Webb, and his manager, Casey Stengel, will miss the great center fielder, who said recurring injuries made him decide to quit at 37.
National League President Ford Frick looks on as Mayor Impellitteri unveils a plaque commemorating the 75th anniversary of baseball's senior circuit. The unveiling takes place at the site where Major League Ball was founded, Broadway at 3rd Street in New York. In the Broadway Central Hotel, old-timers like Arlie Latham of the Reds talk over old times. Arlie is 91, but he's still full of pep. Celebrating with him are members of baseball's Hall of Fame. Ty Cobb, George Sisler, Roger Hornsby, Tris Speaker, Carl Hubbell and other immortals of the great American game pose for their pictures on a sparkling birthday, a diamond jubilee of the diamond.
Bright star of the tennis world, Nancy Chaffee and Ralph Kiner, home run king of the National League, are married at Santa Barbara, California. General manager of the Cleveland Indians, Hank Greenberg, is best man. The bride gets a congratulatory kiss from Bob Lemon of the Indians. Nancy is the 6th ranking national tennis player in the female division. Vern Stevens of the Boston Red Sox shakes with the Pittsburgh Slugger at the reception. A wedding of baseball and tennis, and the match winds up love all. Baseball's in the air, and at St. Petersburg, Casey Stengel casts a weather eye over his world champs, the Yankees. Reynolds, Rashi, and Lopat, the big three of the pitching staff, begin spring training along with Yogi Berra and other Yankees. What's missing in this picture? Joe DiMaggio, of course. They'll miss the Clipper, no doubt. But Phil Rizzuto and plenty of other talent is on hand for another pennant go. First base is wide open with plenty of candidates for the job. Sigrist, Hop, Collins, Weaver, Bolweg, Mole. There's a lot of hustle in camp, and out of it will come a new team, minus DiMaggio, but a team to reckon with. One of the heirs to Joe's centerfield spot, Mickey Mantle, accents the positive of youth and speed Casey Stengel is counting on to make Yankee bats sing their old song of victory. Leo DeRocha and his National League champs get going at Phoenix. Jim Hearn winds up for another good year with the Giants. And two 23-game winners of last year, Sal Maglie and Larry Johnson, give Leo's pitching staff plenty of pennant punch. Bob Hoffman and Davey Williams are looking for infield assignments. And the whole team is working hard to put the Indian sign on the National League again this season. The Giants are resting on their laurels. Irvin, Mays, Deering, Mueller, and company are working hard to do it again in 52. Bobby Thompson is added reason why Lippy Leo is full of confidence these spring days. Down Vero Beach Way, the Brooklyn Dodgers are pitching in to avoid another debacle like happened last year. Hard work is the motto for Ralph Branca and other starting pitchers, like 22-game winner Preacher Rowe. A big problem is a successor to Don Newcomb, now pitching for Uncle Sam. And Charlie Dressen hopes it may be Joe Black, already labeled in some quarters as another Newcomb. Tried and true Roy Campanella is back in his backstop berth, and the lineup includes other veterans like Pee Wee Reese, Gil Hodges, and other Ebbetsfield favorites such as Carl Furillo. Brooklyn says, "Come on, you bums." Things are booming, bats included, at Orlando, Florida, where the Senators are working out under their manager, Bucky Harris, with club owner Clark Griffith watching the progress of his American leaguers. The Nats finished 7th last year, but are on the way up, says Sandalio Consuegra and other pitching staff stalwarts like Bob Porterfield. Bucky Harris looks for mound help also from Joe Haynes, who is mighty sharp in camp. There's a brand new catching staff hard at work, fighting for a regular berth on the team. So Bucky says we're out to win more games. Gil Cohen will help him do that. From all indications, the Senators will be making things hot for the league this year. The chips are down at Ebbets Field. The Yanks and Dodgers have run out the string. This is the 7th and decisive game of the 52 series. This is it. Race up, 5th inning. Yanks ahead, 2-1. The Dodgers shortstop laces one into left field. Billy Cox, who had doubled off Reynolds previously, races around to make it a 2-2 ball game, and Brooklyn fans come alive. Mickey Mantle facing Brooklyn hurling ace Joe Black in the 6th. Boom! Mantle belts it over the fence in right field, his 2nd homer of the series and the Yankees' 10th. A new home run record for the Bronx Bombers. 20-year-old Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio's successor, puts the champs out front, and they stay there. The frustrated faithful of Flatbush are down to their last fingernail in the 7th. Again, the bases are loaded. Maybe this time. Maybe Jackie Robinson can be the hero. Robinson pops it up into infield. Billy Martin races in, just does glove it, and Brooklyn hopes are shattered. We know how you feel, fella, but we also know how the Yankees feel as they pummel relief pitcher Cazava. They've done it again. Their 4th World Series in a row, and this makes the 2nd time. It's a habit. Casey Stengel is congratulated by losing manager Dressen as the Yankees whoop it up after the game. The old professor did it again. It's a habit with Casey, too.
2 balls the count. No score in the top of the 2nd inning at Comiskey Park, Chicago, which was the scene of the first All-Star game back in 1933. The stretch by Rashi. Here's the pitch. There's a drive towards left center field. Williams going over, but that one is in for extra bases all the way to the wall. Here comes Robinson rounding 2nd and 3rd. There goes Slaughter to 3rd base, and Slaughter is safe with a triple, and the National League leads
1-0. Giants from Japan, the Tokyo Giants. Baseball champs back home begin spring training in Santa Maria, California. Lippy Leo of the Jap Giants, Shiro Mitsuhara, takes a tip a la DeRocha, and spring training is officially underway. During their visit here, the Oriental champions will play exhibition games against their namesakes, too. Kingpin of the pitching staff is Akiro Besso, won 33 games last year. The first professional Japanese baseball team ever to train on foreign soil also boasts other top-notch talent, such as Tetsuharu Kawakami, the Ralph Kiner of Nippon. 25 homers last season. You think the Tokyo Belters take to rice? Steak for them. Who eats rice? The trainer. He's American. Spring in Tucson, Arizona, and Al Lopez looks over 6 players on the squad back from the service, 5 from the Army and 1 Marine. From big guns to big bats, they hope. Bob Lemon is gunning for another good year on the mound. 22 games won. Ditto for Mike Garcia. Pitching wasn't the Tribe's problem last year, shouldn't be this year. if Easter's knee is okay, and if Rosen keeps hitting over 300. All the imponderables. But managers count on some things like Dale Mitchell playing good ball. Manager Lopez also experiments with infield combinations. Doug Hanson, one of the returnees, getting off the DP ball. Phoenix, Arizona, Giants in training. Infielders, Bobby Thompson, Darrell Spencer, Davey Williams, and Whitey Lockman. Catchers, Cat, Westrom, Evars, Noble, Calderon. Outfield, Monty Irvin, Jim Rhodes, Clint Hartung, George Wilson, Harvey Gentry, Don Mueller, and Bill Taylor. Giant hopes are soaring for another year like 51. Sal Magley aims to better his 18-8 record. Hoyt Wilhelm is always a relief to Lippy Leo DeRocha and his coaching staff. Biggest news is amended Monty Irvin. Ankle all healed, ready and raring. Leo is feeling fine. To Vero Beach, Florida, where Charlie Dressen and the National League leaders are whipping into shape and confidence. This year we beat the Yanks, they say. Russ Meyer comes from Philly to bolster the pitching staff. And here's Joe Black, spark plug of that pennant last year. Don Zimmer and Jim Baxis seek infield berths, but Jackie and Pee Wee aren't worried, nor is Roy Campanella in any danger of losing his job. Billy Cox may share honors at third. Who's on first? Gil Hodges. Carl Furillo's got his old eye back fence scuttlebutt reports. And who's moitering the ball so oily? The Duke, that's who. Look out, Yanks, say them bums. In Milwaukee, baseball is the thing. Club owner Lou Perini and Mayor Zeidler are at Union Station as Lou's Milwaukee Braves come home for the first time. The red carpet is rolled out, and the whole town, it seems, is out to greet Jolly Charlie Grimm, manager last season of the Milwaukee Brewers, now manager of the big league Braves, formerly of Beantown. 200,000 fans line Wisconsin Avenue, renamed Braves Drive for the occasion, cheering the individual players. Veterans on the team couldn't get over the enthusiasm, said they. Boston was never like this, even when we won the pennant back in '48. From this reception, you'd think another pennant was in the bag. Who knows, maybe the spark kindled here today will flame into victory for the Braves of Milwaukee. As the sensational 1953 Braves return to their new home, let's take a quick look at the home they left behind. Braves Field in Boston, empty and deserted, as it often appeared during last season's home games before the Braves' quick exit to happier hunting grounds. Here's their triumphal return to Milwaukee, a civic welcome with flags waving and thousands cheering. With support like this, small wonder the Braves are out of their cellar and really on the warpath. A motorcade conveys the heroic nine to the stadium in style, and the fans are crowding in early for the twilight doubleheader with Philadelphia. Almost 34,000 turn out. Boston was never like this. On field, it's warm-up time. And manager Charlie Grimm keeps an eye on his battery. Pitcher Warren Spahn. And catcher Del Crandall. Game time is some minutes away, but the fans are already cheering. Take a look at the kind of rooters who have racked up an attendance of more than 400,000 in just 17 home games, almost twice the total Boston turnout in 52. But it's play ball. In the sixth, Eddie Matthews at bat. And it's a homer with one man on base. The Braves still trail by 3, but it's a start. And for third baseman Matthews, it's his 20th four-bagger of the season, keeping him well up among the league's top sluggers. In the eighth, Joe Adcock drives in 2 more, and the Braves go on to take both games and seize the league lead. A wonderful way to say thanks to Milwaukee fandom. Home from the wars, Ted Williams pays a visit to some young fans at Boston's Jimmy Fund Cancer Research Hospital. Later, Ted's welcome home dinner is a $100 a plate affair, with all proceeds going to the Jimmy Fund. Connie Mack and Red Sox general manager Joe Cronin are some of the celebrities on hand, with Sox owner Tom Yawkey to help along Ted's favorite cause. Recognition of the baseball star's efforts comes with a plaque presented by Dr. Farber of the Children's Hospital. But more important to Ted, the Jimmy Fund netted well over $50,000. Once again, it's Yankees versus Dodgers, and 70,000 fans pour into Yankee Stadium for the opening game of the 50th anniversary of the World Series. Managers Casey Stengel and Chuck Dresden, with Baseball Commissioner Ford Frick on hand, have their top hurlers, Reynolds for the Yanks and Erskine for the Dodgers, warmed up as old-time pitcher Cy Young throws out the first ball, and the fans wait for action on the field. They don't wait long. Hank Bauer, Yankee right fielder, greets Erskine with a solid smash to right center. Joe Collins, Yankee first sacker who had walked previously, races all the way around from first as Bauer's drive eludes the Dodger outfield. Collins scores and Bauer winds up with a triple. The blue chip bombers from the Bronx keep up the pressure. Gene Woodling walks to load him up, setting the stage for the big blow of the first inning by second baseman Billy Martin. Billy really blasted the ball, clearing the bases with one swing of his bat. His was only the second hit of the inning, but the perennial champs come up with 4 runs, 3 of them by a Martin's triple. Yankee fans are whooping it up for joy. Brooklyn fans are stunned. They'd hoped for a better start from their team, called the greatest in Dodger history, but they come to life in the 6th. George Schuba comes up with a pinch hit home run into the right field seats, and backers of those beloved Bums have something to holler about. Billy Cox scores ahead of Schuba, and the Dodgers trail by only 1 run. In the 7th, Carl Furillo, playing with an injured hand, crashes through with a single through the middle, sending Campanella homeward bound with the run that ties it up at 5-all. National League boosters yell for more, but they yell in vain. Collins up for New York. That had a home run sound to it, and a home run look to it. Collins circles the sacks to get a royal welcome when he crosses home plate. His long poke put the champs out front, and they stayed there, winning the opener by a score of 9-5. Wait till tomorrow. Yes, sir, the Yankees did it. 5 straight World Series. Here are the highlights. Game 2, Yankee Stadium. All tied up in the 8th. Mickey Mantle facing Preacher Rowe. The Oklahoma Kid parked it in the left field seats. Hank Bauer was on board at the time, so it was 2 runs for the Yankees, and more than enough to give them a 2-0 lead in games over the Brooklyn Dodgers. The Bombers were flying high. Ebbets Field for game number 3. Them Bums sniffed the good air of Flatbush and came to life. 8th inning, score tied. Roy Campanella stepped in against Vic Raschi. Campy atoned for previous failures at the plate with that one. His round tripper put the Dodgers out front in game 3, and they stayed there. The roly-poly catcher was the man of the hour in Brooklyn, but he wasn't the only one. The Flatbush faithful hollered for Carl Erskine to strike him out, and the flashy right-hander did. His 14th strikeout of the game, a new series record. Game number 4, and more heroics to fan Dodger hopes for a World Series victory at long last. Duke Snyder, Dodger center fielder, is the hero of this game. Snyder's double to right in the first inning drove in 2 runs, and the Brooks were off and running. 6th inning, the Duke hit one that was clear out of the park, and there was new life and new hope in Brooklyn. This was the Dodger team that had rolled up all kinds of records in the National League. Boom, another double for Snyder. Hail the Duke of Flatbush. Dodger hopes were riding high. Maybe this was next year. Campy scampered, and them Bums had tied up the series. Well, it was fun while it lasted, but then came game 5. Johnny Podres loaded him up in the 3rd. Dresden took him out, put in Russ Meyer to face Mickey Mantle. What you'd call a situation. Mickey did it again. Another home run, only this time it was a grand slammer. 3 teammates romped across the plate in a procession of jubilation for Yankee fans. But to Dodger rooters, it had a funereal look. Mickey's wallop was the big blow of the 5th game, and Mickey was the big gun. Back to the stadium for the 6th, and as it turned out, the last game. Dodgers came close. Top of the 9th, Carl Furillo blasted one to the opposite field, dropped it in the right field corner for a home run. A dramatic moment, for with Snyder on base, 2 runs came home for the Dodgers on Furillo's wallop, and the score was tied at 3-3, but you know the rest. Yanks had Bauer on second, Martin up in the bottom half of the 9th, and Martin laced one right up the middle, his 12th hit of the series, making him the hero of heroes. Bauer scored, and the Yanks won the game and the series. Yes, sir, the Bombers did it again. 5 World Series in a row for Casey Stengel and his American League whiz-bangs. They made baseball history. What a team.
Play ball. And now we're ready to get going at Yankee Stadium. Vic Raschi looks in to get the sign. Leans forward, starts the windup. Around comes the arm. The first pitch is high inside for ball 1.
And he's into the windup, and here's the pitch for Dixon. It's a curve, and it's over for a call strike.
Bickford gets ready to throw that first one. And it's a strike called.
Miller has his sign stuck into the windup. Here's the first pitch, and it's a ball, a little bit high. Ball 1, the season's underway.
When a well-known honeymoon couple arrives at Tokyo Airport, a throng of 4,000 baseball and movie fans surge out of control, break through police lines. Joe DiMaggio and his bride smile bravely at their greeters, but they don't dare move. So back into the plane they go, while police clear a path to the cargo hatch with DiMaggio's convertible. The stratagem works. The former Yankee slugger and his picture bride escape into the car and head for the safety of their hotel. But their troubles aren't over. Next day comes a press conference where the public was barred, but the photographers and reporters more than made up for that. Their questions were rough, ranging from the risque to the ridiculous. And Joe, he's the forgotten man, which is something in Japan where baseball is so popular. I mean, never underestimate the power of you-know-who. But enough's enough. His patience is exhausted, and Joe says, go. At West Palm Beach, the Philadelphia Athletics get spring training underway. Tyro manager Eddie Just Wright huddles with his coaching staff on prospects. There's plenty of new talent on hand thanks to winter trading. And the A's, who finished 7th last year, are hoping to break into the 1st Division. Pitching has been strengthened. Veteran Alex Kellner, who topped the staff with 11 victories in 53, will vie for honors with Bobby Shantz, who's counting on an injury-free year and a return to his league-leading form of 1952. Newcomer Bob Trice is promising. He led the International League last year with 21 victories. And slugger Gus O'Neill heads the power department again as the A's look hopefully into the future.
At Vero Beach, Florida, the Brooklyn Dodgers line up for inspection by their new manager, Walter Alston. A minor league veteran, he's a tyro in the majors, but things look bright at the start with the return from service of ace pitcher Don Newcomb, enthusiastically hailed by teammates. Brooklyn's new pitching coach, Ted Lyons, takes a group of rookie hurlers in hand. 19 pitchers turned out for practice, among them the club's only 20-game winner, Carl Erskine, and Russ Meyer. Last year, pitching was the only soft spot. With the booming bats of Hodges, Campanella, Snyder, and Furillo ready, the Dodgers and manager Alston are pointing for another World Series. Across the country, there's one baseball man who knows what the Dodgers can do, but doesn't much care. Recognize him? Who else but Charlie Dressen, now manager of the Oakland Oaks in the Pacific Coast League, and looking forward to a great season. The National League's top manager last year, he's planning a similar success here for 54. Does he miss the majors? Doesn't act like it.
Casey Stengel and George Weiss take a close look at the Yankees in training, and old Case is looking ahead to a 6th straight World Championship. Could be. But before then, there are a few questions to ask, like who's on first? Joe Collins, Bill Scoren, Frank Legia, or Eddie Robinson, late of Philadelphia?
wearing that old number 36 now that Johnny Mize is retired. Johnny Sain is also retired, but the champs are still knee-deep in talent and the team to beat. Hank Bauer is back, and Yogi Berra, and Gene Woodling. A powerful lineup with Gil McDougald adding more power. Bill Dickey gives a few pointers to rookie Elston Howard, the first Negro player on the team. And for pitching, well, there's Whitey Ford, 18-game winner last year, and Allie Reynolds looking for another good year himself. From Philadelphia, the Yanks acquired the big right-hander, Harry Bird. Question, will Bird fill Vic Raschi's shoes? Vic was sold to the Cardinals in one of the big surprise deals of the winter. If the longtime Yank has a good year, the Yankees might regret it, and Cardinal manager Eddie Stanky would be glad indeed. But time will tell. Pennant fever grips the Milwaukee Braves. That's the word from spring training camp where they eat and sleep baseball. Everybody's caught the bug, pennant bug that is, from manager Charlie Grimm on down through the ranks. Charlie's lost Antonelli and Little, but he's still got Warren Spahn, 23-game winner last year. Nichols and Payne are back from service, and 6'8" Gene Conley brings a fine record from Toledo. There's new bench strength to back up Del Crandall, catcher, Joe Adcock, first base, and the big slugger at third, Eddie Matthews. The acquisition of Bobby Thompson from the Giants should be a factor.
Manager Al Lopez has his Indians really hustling in Tucson, Arizona, where the stage is set for spring training. And the Cleveland club looks to big things ahead. Al's pitching looks good as usual, headed by the big right-hander Mike Garcia, who won 18 games for the Tribe last year. Early Wynn, who hurled the Indians to 17 wins. And Bob Lemon, whose 21 victories topped them all. Bob Feller and Hal Newhouser discuss pitching problems, while over there at first base, Rocky Nelson and Bill Glenn are reaching for Luke Easter's job. Some reach, eh? There's plenty of snap in the Indians, says Al Lopez in Tucson. The New York Giants take the field at their spring camp in Phoenix, Arizona. Manager Leo Durocher and his coaching staff are all smiles at the return from Army service of the very popular Willie Mays, who is expected by many fans to do more for the team than any other single player. On the mound, rookies Constable and McCall Wright, with Antonelli and Little obtained from the Braves for Bobby Thompson, are expected to add new and needed pitching strength. A hopeful year ahead. Big League Baseball is back in Baltimore after an absence of 52 years. Vice President Nixon rides in the parade of welcome for the team. There's a salute to Hall of Fame heroes of the old Orioles, National League champs at the turn of the century. But the good old days take a backseat to new days, with Jimmy Dykes, coach of the American Leaguers, formerly of St. Louis. Instead of looking back, Baltimore is in a holiday mood, looking ahead to big things from its new Orioles. Baseball's newest team is mobbed for autographs, and baseball's newest stadium will be mobbed for the homecoming day game with the White Sox. This display of enthusiasm is contagious. The team won its first home game 3-1. Auspicious beginnings in Baltimore, home of the Orioles. An umpire with plenty of hustle and hurry up is Emmett Ashford of the Pacific Coast League, first Negro umpire in big-time baseball. He puts on a show which the fans applaud, and managers and players on the coast call him a hustler who should go far in his chosen profession. They like his style, and they seldom protest his calls behind the plate. When Ashford says, "Steer right," he means it. One-time mail sorter in the San Francisco post office, he has a special delivery that gets the stamp of approval from the Coast League fans. They love it. Our hats off to Emmett Ashford.
Here's your pitch to Yogi. It's a pitch on, a play down the third, and he is out of third. Rizzuto is caught at third as he stumbled trying to get back.
Keeping those runners on their toes. In comes the pitch. Jerry Coleman swings and sends a ground ball to Hodges. Gets off his glove. Here comes Woodling digging the plate. The throw is in and not in time. Woodling scored as Hodges had grabbed the ball, stepped on first to retire Coleman, and almost had the chance for an unusual double play at the plate. But he threw in a hurry off balance and off to the right of the plate into the dirt. It had to be blocked by Campanella, and he was at least 5 to 10 feet away from the plate up the first baseline and had no chance to get Woodling. It was an unusual play with so much happening.
County Stadium is jam-packed for baseball's Midsummer Dream Classic, the 22nd All-Star Game. Cleveland's Al Lopez and New York's Leo Durocher match managerial wits before Commissioner Ford Frick and 45,000 other baseball fans. Robin Roberts started for the National Leaguers, while pitched Harvey Keene in from third in the first inning. So it was 1-0 favor of the junior loop. Then with 2 on, the senior circuit was in more hot water when Mickey Mantle teed off on Roberts. The cameraman had a hard time finding the fence, but Mickey didn't. His hit cleared the fence in deep center field for a home run. The American League was the underdog, but you'd never have known it, as Nellie Fox and Ted Williams escorted Mickey Mantle around the base paths to make it a 4-0 ball game. Another run in the 6th made it 5-0. In the 8th, the National Leaguers finally tied it up, and knotted it was till the bottom of the 12th, when Stan Musial of the Cardinals, playing in his 12th All-Star game, stepped in. And there's your ball game, a circuit clout by Stan the Man, giving the National League its 5th All-Star victory in the last 6 years. One of baseball's great stars wins the All-Star game with a sudden death flourish. It's all over, but the shouting. It's Yanks versus Dodgers, the Hatfields and McCoys of postseason baseball feuding once again in the 52nd World Series. 64,000 are at Yankee Stadium, where Casey Stengel and Walt Alston go with their aces in the opener of the 1955 Classic. The opposing pitchers are Whitey Ford for New York and Big Don Newcomb for Brooklyn. This is the 6th series between the 2 clubs, and Maya Wagner does the honors as the fans wait to see if this is the year for Brooklyn. They've yet to win a World Series, and Carl Furillo gets them off to a good start in the 2nd inning, hitting a home run into the right field corner. The Dodgers have drawn first blood, and Dodger fans yell for more. The Yankees have won 16 World Championships, the Dodgers none in 7 attempts. Furillo started something Dodger fans are hoping maybe this is next year. Jackie Robinson steps in against Ford. Deep into left center, Irv Noren races after Robinson's blast. Jackie really teed off on Ford. Here comes the relay. Jackie slides, he's safe. Next man up for Brooklyn is Don Zimmer. Another hit, a bloop single to center that drops in front of Noren, and quicker than you can say Jackie Robinson, the Dodger third baseman trots in from third, making it 2-0 favor of the Dodgers. But Brooklyn joy fades quickly in the bottom of the 2nd when Elston Howard swings away. Howard lashes a screaming line drive that sails into the left field seats. Joe Collins, who had walked, precedes Howard across the plate, and the score is all tied up at 2-all. But only for an inning. In the Dodger third, Duke Snyder gets the range on Whitey Ford. Going, a home run for the Duke, his 6th in World Series competition. The long ball is the story in today's big game in the big town, and Snyder's wallop gives the Dodgers the edge once again. Can they hold their lead? Not long. The Yanks tied it up in their half of the 3rd inning, and then Joe Collins unties it in the 4th. And again, the story is the long ball. Collins is an underrated .234 hitter, but he's a big gun for the Yanks today. Collins completes the circuit, and it's 4-3 New York, and Joe isn't done with the heroics. He comes up in the 6th with Berra on base. Boom! Furillo and Snyder race back, but it's up in the seats for another home run, the 5th of the game and number 2 for Joe Collins. Yogi escorts Joe home for another glad hand reception at home plate and in the Yankee dugout. 6-3 is the score, but it is not the final score. With 1 run in the 8th and Jackie Robinson on 3rd, pinch hitter Kellert faces Whitey Ford. The windup, and here comes Robinson trying to steal home. He's safe, says the ump. He's out, says Yogi Berra, and brother, is Yogi hopping.
And so the opening game ends with the Yankees winning 6-5. Berra still saying he was out, and Dodger fans rather mournfully saying, "Wait till tomorrow." The Dodgers waited 40 years for this day, and at long last, they're world champions. This is next year. They doed it. Johnny Podres outlasted the Yankees' Tommy Byrne on the mound, and Walt Alston's Brooklyn Dodgers brought home the bacon for President Walter O'Malley. 63,000 fans were in Yankee Stadium for the sudden death 7th game, with the Dodgers getting going in the 4th inning. Byrne facing Roy Campanella. Roy lashes one into the left field corner where Elston Howard has trouble finding the handle of the ball, and the hit goes for a double. This was the beginning as dem bums reared up to win their first series in 8 attempts. With Campy on third, Gil Hodges takes aim. It's a hit. A clutch single for Hodges, and Campy scores to put the Brooks out front, 1-0. Not much of a lead over the vaunted Yanks, who have won 16 World Series, but the Dodgers add another in the 6th. Pee Wee Reese opened the inning with a single, and manager Alston calls on home run slugger Duke Snider to lay one down. Byrne's toss pulls Skowron off the bag, and the ball is jarred loose on the attempted tag. All hands safe. Campanella bunts both runners along, and Carl Furillo gets an intentional pass. That brings Casey Stengel to the mound for a conference. And the call goes out to the bullpen. Byrne had won the 2nd game, but strategy dictates a change now. Tommy takes the long walk to the showers, and Bob Grimm takes over the job of pitching to Gil Hodges. Gil comes through again, this time a deep fly ball to Bob's serve in center field. Reese tags up and comes in to score. It's 2-0 Dodgers. Still not much of a lead when Johnny Podres faces Yogi Berra in the Yankee 6th. Yogi lifts one to left field. 2 men on. If it drops, it's trouble. Sandy Amaros makes a one-hand catch, whips it to Reese, who fires to first to double up McDougal. The Yanks is dead. Johnny Podres pitched his heart out, and it's all over but the shouting and the tumult. The Dodgers win it 2-0 and win their first World Series. They were out-hit by a gallant Yankee team, but never outplayed, and this day will live long in the memory of Brooklyn, USA. 10 fans who bet on the Yankees in the series and lost are paying off. Too much Padres, and now it's too much pushing wheelbarrows 3 miles uphill. While all this is transpiring, the cause of it all, the Yankees themselves emplane for Japan. Yogi Berra and fellow players are off on their Oriental tour. Tommy Byrne, Bob Grimm, and Jerry Coleman receive a traditional send-off as the new bridegroom, Andy Carey, records the moment for posterity. They lost the series, but Casey Stengel and the Yankees are still champs to Mary DiMaggio, a cousin of Joe's, and why not? All aboard, next stop Honolulu, and then on to Tokyo, for Mrs. Bauer and Hank and all the rest, flying halfway around the world to put Brooklyn behind them. Arriving for a 3-week tour of Japan, the New York Yankees, along with baseball commissioner Ford Frick, co-owner Del Webb, and manager Casey Stengel, are warmly greeted by Japanese admirers. Casey was here in a Giant uniform in 1922. Not even a driving rain can dampen the enthusiasm of the baseball-conscious throngs lining the route of the motorcade through Tokyo streets. This is Yankee Day. The Yanks are still the champs in the eyes of Japanese rooters. What do they think Brooklyn is, a bridge? This is the first Yankee team to visit Tokyo since Japan began playing baseball 80-odd years ago. A big first and a big banzai for Casey Stengel and his New York Yankees.
And now here's Dizzy Dean with a 9th inning word. I sure did enjoy visiting with all you baseball fans. Till next week, this is Old Diz saying so long, good luck, and don't go for any bad pitches.